All right, as developers, we are absolutely obsessed with writing clean code. But what about how we talk about that code? Today, we're going to dive into the essential technical English that really separates a good developer from a great one. This is the stuff that makes you a way more effective teammate.
This quote really gets to the heart of it. It's so easy to think that we're just writing code for a computer to execute. But the reality is, we're writing for other humans. Your teammates, your future self, they're the ones who have to read and understand it.
So that brings up the big question, right? Are you actually fluent? I mean, it's one thing to write code that works, that compiles and runs. It's a whole other thing to communicate its purpose and structure so clearly that anyone can pick it up. Nailing this is the real key to amazing collaboration.
So let's start with the absolute fundamentals. If you think about code as a language, then naming conventions, well, that's the grammar. Getting this right is your first big step towards real fluency. Look, this might sound a little harsh, but it's just true. Following these conventions isn't just about following rules for the sake of it. It's about being a pro. It shows you respect your team, and it makes the entire code base predictable and easy to navigate. It's just not optional in a serious project. So what are these different styles you're going to see out in the wild? Well, here are the big four you'll run into constantly. There's camel case, snake underscore case, Pascal case, and kebab case. Each one looks a little different, and each has its own job. Let's break them down.
First up, we've got camel case. You can see why it's called that, right? The first word is lowercase, and then every new word starts with a capital letter, kind of like the humps on a camel. This is pretty much the standard for variables and functions if you're in the JavaScript, Java, or TypeScript world.
Next is snake underscore. Everything's lowercase, and the words are just connected by an underscore, like a long snake. If you're a Python or a Ruby developer, this is going to be your bread and butter. It's super readable, which is why those communities love it. Then we have Pascal case. Now notice the difference here? Every word starts with a capital letter, including the very first one. And that's on purpose. It's a signal that this is a major piece of the puzzle, which is why we use it for big things like classes, or if you're on the front end, React components. And finally, there's kebab case. I love this name. The words are all skewered together with a hyphen. You will see this all over the web, in URLs, in CSS files, in file names. It's just a clean, easy-to-read staple for web development. Okay, so we've got the grammar of the code down. Now let's switch gears and talk about how we describe what the user actually sees on their screen. Using the right little words, the right prepositions, is so important when you're talking with designers and the rest of your team. Just look at this. It seems like such a small thing, but it can cause so much confusion. If you say a button is in the screen, what does that even mean? It's vague. But if you say it's on the toolbar, boom, everybody knows exactly what you're talking about. That's the kind of clarity we're aiming for. So here's the really simple rule for on. Use it for surfaces. The screen is a surface. The toolbar is a surface. A logo is on the header. We even say an app is on the cloud because we're treating the cloud like a platform, a surface that it sits on. In, on the other hand, is for containers, things that hold other things. So data is in a database. A file is in a folder. A value is in an array. It means it's enclosed inside something else, whether that's real or a data structure. And when you need to be super, super precise, that's when you pull out at. At is like a laser pointer. It points to one exact spot. The error isn't just in the file. It's at line 245. The cursor is at the end of the line. Zero confusion. All right, for our last section, let's build up our vocabulary. Using these specific words correctly in meetings and code reviews is really a sign of a senior professional developer. So let's lock these in. First on our list is deprecated. When you see this, think of it as a friendly warning from the future. It means, hey, this feature still works right now, but we're phasing it out. There's a better way to do this, and you should probably switch over before this breaks on you. Oh, we've all felt this one. Laggy. It is the perfect word for when an app or a website just feels slow. You click a button and you have to wait for that fraction of a second. That's lag. It's a super important word to use when you're talking about performance. Next up is scalable. This is a massive concept in how we build software. A scalable system is one that can handle success. Can it go from 10 users to 10 million users without falling over and catching fire? If yes, then it's scalable. Legacy code. These are the two words that can strike fear into the heart of any developer.
It's that old, kind of scary code that's been running for years. It's often super important, but nobody wants to touch it because it's hard to understand and easy to break.
And our final vocab word is throughput. Now, this one's often misunderstood. It's not about speed, not really. It's about capacity. Think of a highway. Speed is how fast one car is going. Throughput is how many cars can get down that highway in an hour. It's about the total volume a system can handle. So let's do a quick recap. What are the 3 big takeaways here? Number 1, master your naming conventions. It's the grammar of your code. 2, use your prepositions precisely when you're talking about UI. And 3, build up that professional vocabulary. It really makes a huge difference.
And I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. As AI gets better and better at actually writing code, the physical act of typing might become less important. So could it be that our ability to communicate clearly with other humans, to explain complex problems, to debate solutions, is about to become the single most valuable skill a developer can have? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.